under a political environment with such kind of a narrative, you have Corona out. You have the 3 senators. Okay. One who is already a political dinosaur, you know. We don't make them like they used to, no? And then you seem to fall over your own steps.
That's right.
Well,
Whether among the religious, and I might agree with them on this, much of what is happening now, wherein he falls flat on his face, is actually by divine intervention.
Okay.
Because since there is no other human force that is pushing him to make all of these mistakes, including the exclamation point, which is the Mama Sapano
yes.
incident.
Okay.
No other but himself.
Okay.
And when he does, it blows up in his face and for all of the population to see. And it's like a reminder to us that you have a leader that's doing this to your country and to your lives. No? What are you going to do as a people of your nation? No?
Okay.
And it should be up to us now to react to what is happening. No?
Okay.
And, you know, as a matter of principle and not being practical,
Okay.
the moment it says in a beautiful universal document that was in 1776, when a government does not do what it is mandated to do, which is to protect the Filipino people, it is the right, it is the duty of every citizen to move to replace that government.
Okay.
Now, this does not say we will wait for election.
Okay.
This does not say, anyway, he only has 500 days to go.
Okay.
No? Because every day that you allow this person to be in power means loss of lives of many of your countrymen.
Okay.
Loss of lives is not just the destruction of lives in Mama Sapano with 44. We claim in Save the Nation that every day that passes, there are many thousands of Filipinos who die because an economic program has been imposed on them for them to suffer and die. And I mean, for example, look at the PPP.
Before you go there, but other people will answer you, but you know how Filipinos are. We're very kind, very generous, and we're very forgiving about our leaders.
Yeah.
Are we expecting too much? In fact, the talk in the kanto, if I might use that, is mahirap paduguin yung bato. We can't expect, you know, what is there? We voted for this guy, he will be there, and then let's hope that 2016 comes around ASAP so that we can elect a new leader. Some people are saying, okay, we'll accept he's incompetent. Oh, but at least he's not corrupt. He's honest. How do you answer those kinds of?
That's debatable that he's not corrupt because as far as we're concerned in Save the Nation, and we keep on saying this, walang magnanakaw kung wala kang ipapanakaw.
Okay.
The money that has been given to the senators and congressmen, which was stolen, was given to them to be stolen.
Okay.
The money that came from DAP and PDAF was given to them not for them to be able to come up with projects, but for them as bribe money, as suhol.
Okay.
How did he get rid of Chief Justice Corona? It is obvious that he started giving money to the senators for him to be impeached because this was important.
Okay.
And a lot of money. Now, when he gave it to them because he wanted Corona impeached, he did not think that these senators were not going to pocket the money. But of course, some will claim, I have all the records that show that I did this and did that. Yeah, but it's easy to manufacture documentation. Kung marunong yung accountant mo, marunong din mo siya mag-document nitong mga ito.
Okay.
But you see, walang magnanakaw kung wala kang ipapanakaw. Then I go further. The evil of Satan is not that he himself sins,
Okay.
but he causes others to sin.
To sin.
That is why
To
he
fall.
is evil.
Yes.
No? That is why Satan is evil. He does not have to sin. He causes others to sin. And this, I think, should be understood by many people every time they talk about wala naman ebidensya na nagnanakaw siya. Just because there is absence of evidence, does it mean that it is evidence of absence?
Is there corruption in the Aquino administration?
So much. Very, very much corrupt.
Worse than the GMA administration? Can we now say that or not yet? Or that's
Well,
up for discovery?
Well, if you look at the DAP, no, and what they did. By the way, the DAP is a creation of Secretary Abad.
Yes.
There was no such thing as DAP. It was just a name that they gave, no.
Yeah,
So
yes.
to this use malversation of funds, no, so that they can justify that it was for development.
And the president allowed it.
But of course, the president, because they were in cahoots. No?
So, in short, there is corruption.
Of course. Now,
Is it worse or...
I would say, I have no way of quantifying it. No?
We will
But I
probably
would
find
say-
out later on.
I would say this one is much more institutionalized. No?
You're saying mas pulido.
Mas pulido.
Mas pulido, my goodness.
Nasa gawa ng use of money, no?
Mm-hmm.
Of national coffers. Yung kila Gloria, if I
Okay.
think I'm right, no?
Okay.
It was more with deals that they were coming up with,
Okay.
okay? This one is talagang national coffers, no? And openly, you see, the Malampaya funds are earmarked for energy-related
Yes.
projects, no? They use this,
For
however,
agriculture and all that.
for other things,
Yes, yes.
kunwari,
Yeah.
no? And for bribery.
Yeah.
Because ganito yan, kung ikaw yung presidente, sasabihin mo kay Secretary of Budget, ma'am, hanapan mo ako ng pera para mabigyan natin ito. And you will start looking into the areas which you think can do it, right? Now, if you do it and malverse with the funds, no, that means dalawa na kayong may fault.
Yes.
No? At you will have to protect your own man, which is a bad.
Okay. The Aquino supporters, or those who voted for him, who don't want their image of their president to be tarnished, or who would like to hold on to their illusions, because the alternative is so, will really put them in a downcast, no? So
Right.
they say, personally, hindi siya magnanakaw.
Mhm.
Wala tayong ebidensya or nadidinig na, si Presidente talagang siya nagnakaw. So, on top of that, in short, yeah, there is perhaps, like Durian, we can smell the stench of corruption around him, but
Right, right.
he has not partaken of the forbidden fruit, so to speak.
Yeah.
So, how is that? How do you explain that
To me, just because we don't see the evidence does not mean that he's not doing it. That's like I just said earlier, absence of evidence is not evidence of absence. Just because you don't see a body of somebody who might have been killed does not mean that there is no murder, right?
morally he is already liable? That's what you're saying.
I'm just saying that. Walang magnanakaw kung walang kang ipapanakaw.
Legally, this is still, how is this? The jurors are still out, but it's getting there already because of DAP and all these other issues. That's what we're saying.
Yeah.
And eventually, this will be discovered after his term.
Well, it's actually being discovered already
Okay.
when the Supreme Court start making these decisions, no matter how bakla those decisions are. No?
Okay.
You know, there is an effort, no? There is an effort to try to save him, at the same time not completely taking out the fault, so that it can save face as the Supreme Court, right?
Okay.
And you can see through, and if you read through the decisions,
okay.
that's what's going on. No?
Okay. Let's go on a personal note. Is the president covering up in the Mama Sapano incident? Is he fibbing? Is it a white lie? Is it a lie?
This is the other, well, he's so scared to tell the truth.
And can we say that being scared of telling the truth is actually another way of actually lying? It's
course.
part of a cover-up.
Of course. You lie because of fear, right?
Okay.
And you lie because of greed, because of other things. But in this particular case, he's lying because of fear.
Uh-huh.
and he knows that he's directly responsible. He wanted to cover up by using these people as scapegoats,
Okay.
and maybe he's offering them a lot of retirement pay for this, no?
I use the term blood money.
Blood money.
Yes.
But it's obvious. The whole country knows that he is at fault, no? And he's hiding. He's hiding, and
He's not manning up.
no.
He's not commander-in-chief and presidential enough to stand up and say, this was a decision that I made.
No, a normal human being and a leader might do that, as you were saying.
Okay.
But again, you go back to the claim before that this person is mentally challenged.
Okay.
And because of this personality disorder, on such situations, you may expect him really to hide and to avoid the
pressures?
the stress.
Stress, yeah.
And maybe he's not going to act normally how a leader should be acting under such conditions.
You know, it's unfortunate we don't have, like in the U.S., people who read body language, no? They can make these interpretations, but some people read into President Aquino when he meets world leaders, when he shakes hands with world leaders. If you notice, and you can check photos, and I don't know if you notice this, Butch, one hand is on his stomach.
Yeah,
when he shakes hands.
Like it's insecurity, right?
He holds his stomach and one hand is... And when he makes his speeches, both hands are always touching each other. It's thumb to palm. It's like this for others. And he does it as if it's... he has to do it while he's reading a speech. Some psychologists say this is a form of... It's a pacifier.
Yes.
It's a pacifier.
Yeah,
That's what they say. It's a way of telling yourself, it's self-assuring yourself that you can handle this, that you'll be fine, you'll get through this.
Right.
Those are some of the interpretations.
But that would even probably pass as a normal situation, of a feeling of a bit tense. But there are other aspects that a clinical eye of a psychiatrist would be able to see. And there are psychiatrists now
Who can see
who
this?
can actually see this because they don't have to bring him to a clinic. They see this on television. They see it when he's being interviewed. They see it in his manner of conducting himself, especially during the Mama Sapano situation when the bodies of these soldiers were...
His lack of sympathy or empathy.
Yes, and his body language, as you see, and even his eyes. A clinical eye, one who is trained to see this, immediately makes a diagnosis. And it's funny, of course, they don't want to come out because for fear of the repercussions if they come up with their own opinion.
Yes.
But they are dead sure that this president we have is has a personality disorder. The level of seriousness is still unknown because of they don't see him directly reacting to pressure and stress.
Is it getting worse? We don't know. That's the worst part. But we're going to get back, and then when we get back, we'll ask Butch, where do we go from here? I mean, what's next in the next 500 days? What do we do? Is this EDSA 3 without the RAM, SFP, YOU, and therefore will be protracted until 2016 comes along when we return?